Hello, everybody. This is Hillary Ward here from The Dream Unlocked, and I want to welcome you to the very first course of our 12-step How to Be a Working TV Actor course. I want to congratulate you for taking the time to make this investment in yourself and your career. And over the next year, we're going to give you lots of information about how to become a working actor, whether those are practical steps like how to take a great headshot or how to maintain your agent relationships. But before we get to any of that, we have to address your mindset, because no matter how many actions you're taking, practical actions, if you don't have your head in the right place, you're going to find that you are still held back by your limiting beliefs. So today we're talking about your beliefs. Are they holding you back? How we let go of limiting beliefs and how to unlock our potential. Now, I want to take a quick second just to go over the rules of engagement that I always want you to keep in mind as you are moving through the work this year. So the first one is know your worth and add tax. And we'll get into the details of all these, but I just want to go over them quickly. The second one is what other people think you're capable of is none of your business. The third rule I want you to think about is thoughts become things. And the last one, and the most important one, is outer experience is a reflection of inner reality. Let's say that you were a farmer, okay? And an organic farmer. You have these beautiful heirloom seeds that you use to make the most healthy, just nutritious, beautiful fruits and vegetables to take to market. Okay, and you took a lot of pride in your work and a lot of dedication and time, and you had educated yourself and you had gone to all of these different vendors to figure out how to get your product to the market. Would it make sense to you if somebody, a vendor at a farmer's market, for instance, came up to you and said, you know what, I know that what you have is really, really valuable, but since you're new, what I suggest, just for now, is that every piece of produce that you've brought today, your entire truckload of produce, I want you just to give it away for free all day. Just give it away. And yeah, I know you're going to take a hit right now financially, but trust me, in the long run, it's going to come back to you tenfold. People are going to know how good your stuff is and they're going to want to pay for it next time. But right now, you need to give it away. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Not only does it make no sense because that's putting you in a position that you can't even make your next crop, right? You don't have the money for seeds and to pay for the labor and to pay for the water, all of those kinds of things. But also, if someone doesn't see enough value in what you've brought to them in the first place, if they get it for free the first time, what incentive do they have to pay for it the next time? So you've got to think about your acting career the same way. You have made investments in yourself. You have something to offer. You have a unique voice, a unique lens through which you view the world. Your interpretation of the work is unique. And if you don't value it, if you give it away for free, not only are you endangering your ability to pay your rent, to eat, to keep a roof over your head, to have your health insurance, but also you're not making the people who you offer that product to appreciate the value of it. So you must know your worth and add tax, just like anybody else would, just like you would in any other business. Okay, so the next rule I want to talk to you about is this. What other people think you're capable of is none of your business. Okay, so recently here in Los Angeles, a story that's been getting a lot of attention in the acting world came out of a recording that was, taken by a student who was doing a workshop with a really well-known teacher here in Los Angeles. If you really want to know who it is, you can look it up. I'm not going to take any more time to mention this teacher's name. But she is a Jewish woman who has had a rough experience of the business, and her reaction to that was to get a nose job, and to also have her breast surgically altered, because she felt like the fact that in her mind she looked what someone would think was typically Jewish, that held her back in her career. Now, she's since pursuing her own career as an actor, she's opened a studio where one of the things she does is help students with branding. And she recently told a student that even though she is not of Latina origin, that what she should do is change her name to something as Latina as possible and take a picture in red with some spangly earrings and just do an experiment to see if she got more auditions, because just being a Jewish girl wasn't going to get her anywhere. So what you need to understand is that teacher was giving that horrible advice not based on any sort of truth or actual evidence that would make a way for the student, and that would make the way for the student easier. She was giving that advice based off of her own brokenness, her own hurt and disappointment in her career in the business, and the way that she chose to deal with it was by changing on a very fundamental basis what she looked like, because she didn't think that was good enough. Okay, so we've got to just end the cycle of sickness, okay? Other people's expectations for you, other people's interpretation of what is possible for you, it has nothing to do with you. That's about them. That's about their own wounds, their own traumas that they need to heal. And you have to take care of yourself. You have to see yourself with clear eyes. And you have to see all of the potential that you have and that the universe has granted you the right to claim. Okay, guys, thoughts become things. This is exactly what it sounds like. What you think about, what you focus on, it manifests in your life. So, I think it was Oprah who said, worrying is like praying for something you don't want to get. Okay, whatever we focus on, wherever our thoughts are, they are going to become manifest in our life. So you need to be conscious of the thoughts that you are carrying through your day. And when they aren't serving you, you need to learn to release them or turn them around. And we're going to get into that later on in this training. The really exciting thing that you're going to start to see as you make a shift in your mindset is that outer experience is a reflection of inner reality. So as you start shifting into your power, into your potential in your mind and in your heart and in the way that you live, you're going to start seeing it reflected in your experience of the world. And it's really exciting. I'm so thrilled for you guys. So again, outer experience is a reflection of inner reality. And now let's get into the nuts and bolts of how to make our outer experience more of what we want and how to release the things that no longer serve us. So you've probably heard this idea of limiting beliefs before and how they hinder our ability to progress. But what exactly is a limiting belief? So let's take a look at that. A limiting belief is one which constrains us in some way. Just by believing them, we do not think, do, or say the things that they inhibit. We do not think, do, or say the things that they inhibit. Okay? Some common limiting beliefs are: I am too old to be successful in television and film. It's too late for me. Another common limiting belief is I don't look good on camera, so I'll never be able to play a lead. I'll have to settle for supporting roles. One that I grew up hearing all the time, and I think a lot of us did, is you have to be twice as good to get half as much. Now, even though often these limiting beliefs are taught to us with the intention to help us from being disappointed, to protect us, that's the intention that is behind these limiting beliefs getting passed to us. What they reinforce at a very basic level is some form of the belief that you are not enough. And that is patently false, okay? That is not why you were created. You were not created for limits. You were not put on this earth because you are not enough. You were put on this earth to learn that you are exactly enough. You are exactly beautiful enough, smart enough, talented enough to go after the things that you want, okay? So let's get into unpacking these and learn how to release them. We're all familiar with the law of attraction, or the secret. What you focus on expands. So we've got to make sure that we're focused on what we want, not what we don't want. It's important to release these negative beliefs because, like I said before, one of our first rules, thoughts become things, okay? So if we can release the beliefs that inhibit us from taking the action towards the things that we want, then we will start moving into working to get the things that we do want, and we'll start to see these things become manifest in our lives. Okay, let's start looking at the process of how to examine those limiting beliefs, identify them, and start to turn them around. So let's look at first the what, the how, and the why. I want you to write down 3 to 5, 5 to 7 goals that you have for the next year. It could be really practical things like, I want to book 2 co-stars. I want to lose 5 pounds. Or it could be more abstract goals. I want to develop a healthy mindset around my body image. Whatever it is for you, I want you to take a few minutes and write that down. Next, I want you to look at how possible do you think it is to achieve those goals? How possible do you think it is to achieve them? And I want you just to rate them on a scale from 1 to 10. So 1 is, this is probably going to be really hard for me to get, maybe impossible. And then 10 is, I can definitely do that. I know I've got that under control. Now, the why is the next step. I want you to look at each goal and how you rated it, and I want you to write out a sentence that explains why you think it is more or less likely that you will achieve that goal. What is the evidence in your view? What do you believe about that particular goal that makes it more or less achievable? Now, when you look at that evidence that you have supplied, my guess is that what you came up with were some limiting beliefs. They may look something like, agents never are interested in me because I'm too old. Oh, I don't have a good history with agents because they're just out for money. Whatever the evidence is that you came up with that would keep you from getting what you want, those are some of the limiting beliefs that you are operating under. But the good news is, now that you know what they are, we can begin to unpack them and release them. Now that you've taken the time to identify some of your limiting beliefs, you get the opportunity to examine them, see where they're false, and turn them around. Okay. So this is based all on the work of Byron Katie. She calls it the work. Okay. And what you do is you identify that limiting belief. So if the thought is, agents are never interested in me, they think I'm too old and I always bomb my meetings. Okay. Now, the first thing you ask yourself is that true? Is that true? Do you have any evidence that you can really show that that's true? That you never talked to a person who was an agent who you ever had a good experience with? Or that you know for a fact that agents think that you are too old to be a good investment? I want you to really, really look at the assumptions that you've made. After that, after you ask yourself, is it true? I want you to think about, how would I feel if I could turn this belief around, this thought around? How would it make me feel if I thought, man, agents love to meet with me. They think that someone at my age and my category with my experience has a lot of great assets to bring to the table. How do I feel when I have that thought? And can I start to embody that thought more consciously? Instead of identifying with the limiting belief, can I find a way to identify with the thought that serves and affirms me? So even though that process is really simple, of doing the work of identifying the limiting belief, asking yourself if it's true, and then turning it around, thoughts are coming in all the time, nonstop, right? They just come to us. So we have to be mindful when those thoughts come in that are hurtful to us or cause anxiety or cause us to feel bad. We just need to slow down, and with a lot of self-compassion and a lot of patience, recognize them for what they are. They're just thoughts, and see if we can find a way to examine them, turn them around, and understand that the thought is not the truth of who you are, and that you have the ability to always come back to the truth of who you are, that you are enough, that you are worthy, that you are loved. So as we wrap up today, I just want to leave you with this quote from Brene Brown. No matter how much I get done or is left undone, at the end of the day, I am enough. You are enough. And even though limiting beliefs will come in, the thoughts will come in that hold us back and push us into old patterns, we always have the power to examine them, stay mindful, and turn them around. So please, as you're going through this process yourself, comment in the forum, ask questions of us, let us know how this process is going for you, and make sure that you get support from the other people in the community. I want to thank you again so much for joining us in this first of the 12 steps on how to become a working TV actor, and we will see you in July. Thanks again. Bye.